Hi, my name is Ranjan Bhattacharya, your event host for the Baker Street Property Meet. I'm here today with John Corey, who's been investing for, how long have you been investing in property?
About 32 years.
32 years. So you've seen more than one cycle. You've seen the ups and downs.
Well, let's say I started a few years after the UK was forced to go to the IMF for a bailout.
Oh, right. When was that?
76.
Oh, 76.
So I started early 80, right around oil shock period.
Okay. I was playing in the playground at that time, so I don't remember that one.
The grey hair is natural.
So you've got a bit of history, I guess. So for many people that I talk to who have just invested in the last 5 years, they've just seen the boom. And now, of course, they've seen prices going up all the time. Now there's a little bit of uncertainty. What's your view on uncertainty and just dealing with it?
Well, a couple things. First, the individuals who are used to only upward trends are going to have to get real. They're going to have to earn their money rather than just show up and be rich. The uncertainty is good because then it becomes an opportunity for the investors who are taking a long-term view. It's particularly negative for traders because they have to get in and out in the same market, and that uncertainty can cause a lot of turbulence for them. But if you're a long-term buy and hold investor, it sort of doesn't matter. I can barely remember what I paid 30 years ago, but I know it's a lot less than the properties are worth now. So in the fog of history, you just remember how much it's gone up in theory rather than exactly what happened each year.
So what you're basically saying, short-term trading or short-term strategies ain't the right thing to do now.
Or you have to be very nimble and you need to really add value. So if the market goes down by 5 or 10%, you've at least created the value so that you can get back out at a profit.
So these politicians made out that the world was going to collapse if we decided to Brexit. How do you actually see the future?
Huh. Given that sterling is somewhere around 12% down from where it was, suddenly Britain's on sale for the rest of the world, and no one in Britain is doing any better. So the short-term Brexit effect, I think, it's like all the shops having a sale and all the shop owners having to mark down their product. Longer term, it's too early to tell. There's a lot of things we could do to screw it up. The UK has no trade negotiators. They haven't had any in 30 years. They're going to be negotiating with the EU, who has had some, approximately 700 for the last 30 years. So the future's not necessarily bright, but it's hard to say what it's going to be.
I think that's right. I think there is going to be a period of uncertainty, but we seem to have some short-term certainty in that we have a government now. But do you think that's lulling people into a false sense of security, or do you think Brexit, what Brexit?
Again, it depends on the time horizon. If you're, like there's a Japanese company buying the largest chip company in Britain, it just received a 10% discount on the purchase price for a $50 billion deal. They saved $5 billion because of Brexit. So you could say that they were very happy about it. If you were selling, well, maybe you got your price, but you can't go on your European holiday or to the US. I'm going to the US next month. It's going to cost me a good bit more than it would have just a few weeks ago. So short term, it's a problem. Longer term, I'm not sure it even matters. Housing is mostly driven by demographics. How many people, where do they live? Do they have jobs? So if Brexit means they have jobs or Brexit doesn't affect their jobs, nothing much will change to the local buyer.
So if there's jobs and there's rental demand, then there's still opportunity.
Well, what's interesting, during turbulent times when people are uncertain about prices, rental demand goes up.
Yes, absolutely.
Because everybody says, oh, I better rent because I'm not sure whether I should buy. Or maybe I should sell and rent while I wait to see what happens. So suddenly the landlords are flooded with rental demand. Funny enough, you could say as a landlord in long term, you either win when the rents go up because everybody's uncertain about the house prices, or you win when rents go flat because house prices are rising. So you sort of win in both markets.
I know you work with investors and do some coaching and stuff, and I do a similar kind of thing. But one of the emails that I get from people is on the lines of, well, I've negotiated this deal, should I go ahead with it or should I back out of it? How are you dealing with that sort of question if people ask you, should I go ahead with this property purchase or not?
I ask them what's changed. How does Brexit affect that deal? If that deal is still a good deal, then what difference does it make? And particularly if they're holding longer term.
Yes.
If they want to buy and sell, they want to do something short term, yes, there's turbulence. Yes, they may be competing with a lot of other sellers. Some are taking their houses off the market, others are not, but the buyers are uncertain. So short-term traders, you might have trouble flipping a deal. Long-term buy and hold, if it was a good deal before the vote, it's probably still a good deal.
You're absolutely right. And I think the people that are hesitating were having a flip strategy, or perhaps a strategy that involved a little bit of renovation and selling to the end user market. Whereas what you're rightly saying is that if people are renovating those properties to let, and there is a strong lettings market, then it's completely unaffected. It's hold it for the long term.
Or it's a lot less affected at least, yes. And if you smooth it out over 10 years, you probably won't even be able to see where the Brexit event happens. So it's more the long-term demographics and how many people are going to be living in that area. How they fund the NHS probably has more impact on population than how the Brexit affects the current employment.
And would you agree from the stuff that you've done in the past that some of your best deals were done at times when there was perceived uncertainty at the time, but 5-10 years down the road they turned out to be absolute barnstormers?
Well, let me be the politician here.
Go on.
So would you like to have bought houses 5 years ago?
Absolutely.
Do you think in 5 years' time you'd probably say you would have liked to buy them in today's prices?
Well, I believe that you can buy value at any point in the market. It's all in the deal.
Yes.
You never buy at market value.
Well, you never buy the market, you buy a property.
That's it.
And you work with a motivated seller, you look at ways of enhancing the value.
Yes.
You want to buy an asset that you're happy to hold and you don't mind collecting the rent 5 or 10 years from now. So there's a lot of scenarios long term.
And as you say, I mean, if you're doing a buy to hold scenario and your cash flows well, that's really all you're bothered about, really.
Yes.
And you can do the deal at a time when other people are perhaps not looking at doing deals or nervous of doing deals.
Correct. In fact, if people are pulling back, that means you have more opportunity to take your time and correctly make an offer rather than be in a rush because the other buyers aren't there. And if the cash flow is good, then the cash flow will keep you in the game till you feel it's the right time to exit.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure talking to you, John. We're going to hear from John tonight. I'm really looking forward to what he's got to say at the Baker Street Property Meet, his views on Brexit and investing in general. There's some more videos on this page.
I have a decision matrix that people can use to figure out whether it matters.
I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. There's some more videos like this on this page, or better still, come down to one of the Baker Street Property Meets. We meet every month. It's the only place in the UK where you can meet and network with 200 plus investors. See you then. Bye for now.